Welcome to The Explainer. So, what is it? What's that secret ingredient that separates a company that just gets by from one that truly dominates? Well, a lot of the time, it's a brilliant strategy. Today, we're going right from the blueprint to the battlefield, breaking down everything from the classic theories to the absolute chaos of today's business world.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with a solid blueprint, what strategy even is. Then, we'll crack open the architect's toolkit to see how you actually build one. After that, we expand the map and see what happens when a business goes global. And finally, we'll try to navigate the wild, turbulent waters of the modern world to see how strategy has to adapt just to stay afloat.
All right, let's jump right into this first section and really nail down what we mean when we use that word strategy.
You hear these words thrown around all the time, right? But they are not the same thing, not at all. A plan is just a roadmap. It's a list of steps to get from point A to point B. But a strategy, that is so much more. That's about understanding the entire landscape, knowing your competition, and deliberately choosing a unique path forward. It's a whole different ballgame.
The brilliant thinker Henry Mintzberg argued that strategy is way too complex to be just one thing. He saw it as this dynamic concept with 5 connected parts. Yeah, it starts as a plan, a conscious choice, but it's also a clever ploy to outmaneuver a rival. And over time, a pattern emerges from all your actions. This pattern helps you lock in a unique position in the market, and all of this is guided by the company's shared perspective. Its very soul.
And that idea of a unique position? That's exactly where the legend Michael Porter comes in. His whole argument was that strategy isn't about trying to be the best at what everyone else is already doing. No way. It's about being fundamentally different. It's about consciously choosing a path no one else is on to create a competitive advantage that's super hard for anyone else to copy.
And listen, this isn't just for tech giants and massive corporations. I mean, think about it for a second. A public hospital, a university, even a local nonprofit. They all need a clear, long-term direction. They're all competing, whether it's for funding, for top talent, or just for relevance. A powerful strategy is absolutely crucial for them, not just to survive, but to actually thrive.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what strategy is. But how is it actually made? How do you build one? Let's open up the Architect's Toolkit and check out the process for crafting a winning strategy from the ground up.
Building a great strategy isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a really disciplined process. It all kicks off with analysis, a super deep dive into your world. From that analysis, you formulate your options. Then you implement the path you've chosen. And this is the key part. You constantly evaluate and adjust. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's a continuous loop of learning and adapting.
Now that first step, analysis, means you got to look from 2 different angles. First, there's the internal view, which asks, what are we uniquely, amazingly good at? That's called the resource-based view. Then there's the external view, which looks out at the battlefield and asks, okay, what's the competitive landscape really like out there? That's industry analysis. You absolutely need both to get the full picture.
And when you're looking at that outside world, this is one of the most famous tools in the entire strategy toolkit. Porter's 5 forces. It's all about mapping out the competitive pressure points. Take a giant like Coca-Cola. The rivalry with Pepsi? Super intense. But the threat of a brand new global soda popping up? Pretty low. And their power over their suppliers? It's huge. This framework just makes it crystal clear where the real dangers and the real opportunities are hiding.
And the entire point of this whole process is to build this, a sustainable competitive advantage. See, it's not enough just to be good. You have to be good in a way that other companies can't just come along and copy. For an advantage to be real and lasting, it has to check all 4 of these boxes. Look at Tesla's brand loyalty and its supercharger network. It's valuable, it's rare, it's incredibly hard to imitate, and there's no easy substitute for it. That's the goal.
Okay, so you've done it. You've crafted a brilliant strategy and you're dominating your home market. So, what's next? Well, let's see what happens when a company decides to take that strategy and go global.
The prize for getting this right is, it's staggering. We're talking about a $20 trillion marketplace. National economies have basically merged into the single massively interconnected system. When there's that much on the table, the pull to expand beyond your own backyard is just about irresistible.
But companies almost never just dive headfirst into the deep end. They usually move into the global market step by step through these 4 stages. They might start by just exporting a few products. Then maybe they set up a sales office, and only much later do they commit to actually building a factory in another country. Every single step is a bigger and bigger bet. So here's the big question.
Why do some companies knock it out of the park overseas while others just completely fail? Dunning's OLI framework gives us a fantastic answer. It says that to win on the global stage, you need a special mix of 3 advantages: an ownership advantage, like a secret patent, a location advantage, like access to cheaper labor, and an internalization advantage, which is a good reason to do it all yourself instead of just licensing your tech. You gotta have all 3.
All right, so once a company is operating all over the world, it hits this massive fork in the road. Does it act like one single, standardized global giant? Or should it act more like a collection of different local businesses, each with its own style?
So these multinational enterprises usually fall into one of these 3 buckets. You've got the global company, like Coca-Cola, which sells pretty much the exact same thing everywhere to be as efficient as possible. Then you have the multi-domestic company, like Nestle, which goes deep on customizing its products for local tastes. I mean, that's why you get green tea Kit Kats in Japan. And then there's the transnational, like McDonald's, which tries to get the best of both worlds. You get a standard Big Mac, but with some local menu items too.
And you know, the path a company chooses often boils down to the mindset of its leaders. Is it ethnocentric, where they believe the head office always knows best? Is it polycentric, where they trust that local managers know what's right for their own markets? Or is it geocentric, a truly global view, where they hunt for the best ideas and the best people from anywhere on the planet, creating this incredibly powerful, interconnected network?
Okay, this brings us to our final and maybe our most important section. That stable, predictable world where a lot of these classic strategy ideas were born, well, it's gone. So in an age of constant, nonstop turbulence, how does strategy even work anymore?
I mean, this says it all, doesn't it? The stable, almost cozy business environment of the past has been totally shattered by technology, globalization, and just constant uncertainty. The old rulebook for strategy has been torn to shreds.
So to survive in all this turbulence, 2 really powerful new models have shown up. First, you have the learning organization, which is built to adapt. It's constantly learning, constantly changing its game. Then you have the resilient organization. It's built to be tough, designed to take a punch, withstand a massive shock, and bounce back fast.
But here's the thing. What's become super clear is that today's most successful companies aren't just one of these things. They are a hybrid of all 4. They have to be incredibly efficient with their processes, but at the same time, endlessly innovative. They have to be constantly learning, while also being tough and resilient enough to take a hit. It's a ridiculously tough balancing act to pull off.
And all of this leads us to one final, really provocative question. In a world that's always changing, always unpredictable, is the best strategy to have no fixed strategy at all? Maybe, just maybe, in the 21st century, the only advantage that lasts is the ability to adapt, and the ultimate winning move is just pure, unadulterated flexibility.